it is time for more hat. Going back to Mafia Town or Mafia City or whatever this place is called. Mafia Cul-de-sac. Mafia County. I don't know. Golden Vault, I guess, is a good enough one as any to do. It's nothing too exciting, but then again, red coin missions and Super Mario games are not all that exciting, but now that reminds me, actually, that something that I recall Jonas saying on Twitter once was that he wanted to avoid filler in his game as much as possible. And he considered things like the red coin missions in Mario 64 and Sunshine to be filler, because there's something that you're expected to do in the game to progress, and there's not really any story purpose to them, or really any kind of challenge that makes them unique. It's just, hey, collect some coins. Which I don't entirely agree with. Like, I can see how it could be considered filler, because you're backtracking through a level to collect things, but I like collecting things, so to me it just feels like another sensible challenge for the game. But he still included something like that in this game. He just... What is that golden bird? Why is it gold? I mean, I know I was just talking about Sunshine and how this game is based on it, but I didn't figure they would have shine sprite birds. Okay. Oh, I never collected this. Huh. What was I saying? It is so easy to get sidetracked when things happen. Yeah, this mission is optional, so I guess it makes sense that he would add this in, and it wouldn't be like hypocritical of him to add this, but it still seems a little weird to me. Like, if it's filler at all, then why include it if that's what your feelings are about it? I guess people kind of like filler in a way. Because what is Animal Crossing except nothing but filler? It's a way to fill up your time. It's a way to pass the time in a relatively mindless way. So I know that I can go back to the Golden Vault to assess where the tickets are. I don't know exactly where they are offhand, so yeah, I'll probably have to return. Never pointed out, by the way, that the water is flowing upstream, which should be a surprise. It's very reminiscent of, I think, Klonoa Door to Phantom Isle in that game. There's waterfalls that flow upstream at some point. The reasoning behind that, though, was, first of all, Phantom Isle is called Phantom Isle for a reason. It's not real. It's like this whole dream sequence, the whole game. Well, the game starts out with, hey, when you forget your dreams, where do you think they go? And it's implied that Phantom Isle is where they go. That's where they become real. So, of course, on one hand, it makes sense for something as impossible as waterfalls going upwards to happen in a dream, but also, it was like some curse, and because the water was going backwards, it meant people who were at the bottom of the waterfall weren't going to get their water anymore. So that was, it kind of had its own story purpose. I think in this game, the water is just flowing upstream because maybe the Mafia found some way to harvest fish that way. Like, maybe if we somehow reverse engineer the water, then we can get more fish and claim them for Mafia. I am way off track here, getting tickets that I don't need to get, but they're here, so I'm doing it. 5. Because I'm, for the time being, a little scant on things to talk about. I will point out that there is a character in Riddle School named 5, and that was based on the fact that there was a character in Peanuts named 5. I don't know if I consciously was aware of the exact same name being used, but yeah, there was, for some reason, this kid in Peanuts named after a number because his parents just thought that was a good idea, and their last name was also numbers. So there was a comment like, or the comic like, "My teacher keeps getting my last name wrong. She says 38249. But I keep telling her the accent is on the 2. It's kind of dumb. Another treasure chest. Because treasure chests are a necessity in any game. Doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. There's a lost and found with what looks like a bag of something, spider webs, then a hat, and then, "Have you seen this egg?" Well, I have now. Who's looking for an egg? Those are pretty easy to misplace. If it's Easter, then the point is to misplace them and then find them, so... Is it Easter time yet? I wouldn't be surprised with all the colorful balloons everywhere. Once again with the E. Maybe she should become a postman, like the one in Twilight Princess. That seems like a suitable job for her. She's certainly eccentric enough. She has the voice down. Okay, there's the vault, the floff, the slave, flafe. Yes. One of them is going that direction, one of them is going this direction. This one, I don't remember where it goes exactly, so... Oh, that's pretty apparent. It's just right there. And I should probably talk to the guy who sells badges. Who I think is just named the Badge Seller.
Hi there, young one. I am from
Text is slightly hard to read because of filters.
the Badge Seller, for I sell and trade badges.
I think one issue that I have with this game is that sometimes I think it uses too many filters, which is a problem that I have with some other modern games, not just this. And I've turned some of them down. Should I buy more, or should I use some of these to pay for future levels so I don't have to grind? I don't know, I'll go with the item magnet badge because magnetizing items is kind of nice. Basically the Ratchet and Clank move, or not move, but there's a magnet in that game that allows you to collect bolts, which makes a bit more sense because those things are made of metal and whatever. And I believe this is where... Yep, there's the ticket. That's the ticket! Ho-ho, get it? So we have 4 gold tickets, that's enough for, that's enough to take up 4 of the 5 slots for taking a tour of Willy Wonka's factory. Definitely increases the odds of taking ownership of the factory and also having to deal with Willy Wonka's lawsuits. Camera abruptly stops because it runs into a wall. Something else that I remember from the beta in general, and in particular Mafia Town, something that I thought was really cool and I wish that it stayed in the game, but I guess for one reason or another it had to be removed. There were these fireworks that... Right, actually, you know what? I'm going to get to that in a moment because I didn't point this out. This right here, another thing in the beta. I'll go over the fireworks first, but this right here bothers me in its own little way. We'll find it. Speaking of fire, here's some work that we have to do. Okay, this mission, I definitely thought that this would be something more significant than it is whenever I saw it in the Kickstarter trailer. Because you have all this fire everywhere, as far as the eye can see. It's not just surrounding the island, it's not just like when a volcano erupts in Hawaii and then lava like spills into the ocean and then it sort of dissolves. No, the entire sea is lava. It's just a sea of flames. And, well, I thought that this was supposed to be a sign of the apocalypse. Like, I definitely thought this was some Armageddon setting that wouldn't come up until later in the game, or it would be an indication of a later period on the timeline of this level. Like, things have gotten so terrible, this is the distant future where things are just screwed up. Also, can I say the first time that I played this game, I didn't realize you had to hit those multiple times. I thought you only had to hit them once, so that made this take a lot longer. Yeah, I think it would have been more interesting if this was implied to be some distant future thing and not just another mission in the game. But what do I know? Speaking of things that are unexpectedly underutilized, there's this black market. It's very prominent in the level, but you can never actually enter it for some reason. There's always 2 Mafia people blocking it, except for right now, of course. They're understandably off-duty. Okay, maybe I'll get to the fireworks later, because here's that time rift thing. I'm not gonna go into it yet, but another thing that I remember from earlier in development was, like, when the beta came out, the pipe next to that time rift, it was just a path into a secret area. You didn't have to unlock the secret area first before entering it. It was just something you could go into and automatically you're in a new place. And I thought it was really cool because it's like by exploring the area you came across a secret by accident. Now it's like the pipe doesn't go anywhere. There's just something that unlocks eventually next to the pipe that the game shows you where it is. It would have been cooler, in my opinion, for it to just be a secret area that you come across by accident. Which is interesting because I guess in some way that goes against what I said last time about how I liked when things are treated as puzzles instead of things that are like things that you would expect to be done by accident, but this is a little bit different somehow, I guess. I don't know how to explain my mind. I just wish things were a certain way, and then Felf. Stole Felf from Bictip. This is one level where I appreciate the flame icons in the distance, showing you where you need to go. This is a slightly long mission, though. I think it could have stood to be a little bit shorter, or a little bit simpler. I mean, it's simple enough, but I'm not a big fan of the fact that you have to hit these things multiple times and they're just everywhere. Okay, that one's done. I hope that there's only one more. There's another rainbow circle. And another treasure chest. You look happy, I'll leave you be. You get to live. Something that people enjoy is that Hat Kid climbs up ladders at the speed of sound. I don't know if that's quite to the level of Gordon Freeman, but it's close. Sorry again if, I don't know if I apologized for this already, but I have a very clacky controller, and there is really nothing I can do about that. Oh, suddenly I'm seeing this bridge, and it's making me think... In one of the screenshots on the Kickstarter, I think Hat Kid used her umbrella as like a pogo stick, which I can understand why they removed that, if that's removed. I think it is. Because I don't know how it would be any different from her just kind of navigating normally. It would probably just be essentially the same as the spring suit in Mario Galaxy that no one likes, or more accurately, it would probably be like the DuckTales or the Shovel Knight pogo stick bounce attack, but there's already things that are similar to that but more effective, so I'm guessing that's why it was removed. Again, assuming that it was. I'm not totally sure. Man, there are way too many of these flames. Way too many taps to tap. Way too many Sir Tap Taps. So this episode will either be a long one, or it'll just be relatively uninteresting for the most part. Because most of it will be this. Meanwhile, the music is spicy. I've noticed that in games, lava music and desert music are basically indistinguishable from one another. You could very easily interchange the two. Because this certainly sounds like it could be desert music. There was going to be a desert chapter in this game. It was going to be Chapter 4, and I'll probably talk about that once we get to Chapter 4, and hopefully I'll like that chapter better than I used to. Well, here's a thing that I can do. What just happened there? I think I, like, dove, and then it looked like I got hurt. Maybe I was already hurt, and I just didn't notice. Camera too close. You would be surprised to hear that I'm not the biggest fan of this game's camera. And yet, I'm okay with Yooka-Laylee's camera entirely, except for in very specific instances, and most people seem to think Yooka-Laylee's camera is terrible. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just dated. Maybe I'm not hip with the cool kids. Or the hat kids, as they may be. Another tap. Another Farrah faucet. Okay, can there be one more now? Good, there's one more. Yeah, this goes on entirely too long. I don't even really know what to say about it. The lava looks nice. It's not my favorite lava in video games, but it's fine. Because I assess lava the same way that Miiverse guy does music. I think some of my favorite lava in video games would be maybe the Corona Mountain lava in Sunshine, or the two variants of lava in Rayman 2. There's the cooled down or partly cooled down lava, and then there's the hotter stuff. Because, you know, that makes sense. For there to be two kinds of lava or magma that both have different levels of pain that they inflict, in the same way that Super Mario 64 has two different levels of cold ice water, and I don't know. We did it! We got the timepiece! And now we can eat it, because it was being prepared as food. I mean, it would be very hearty, it would be a hearty meal because of all the sandwiches in there. And with that terrible joke, I'm gonna end the episode. Bye. I changed my mind. I guess I might as well do the time rift thing, or whatever this is called. This over here. Yes, time rift detected, I know. Well, actually, okay, there's a different one. What is that one? Yeah, okay, I'm familiar with that one too, but we'll go with this one. Go. Oh. Okay, I don't click on that, I just go somewhere in the... Yeah, I'm deciding to do this. I don't know if the episode was quite long enough. And the time rifts, ideally, if I can find this quickly enough, shouldn't be... It shouldn't take too long. So when I said this game might have too many filters, one of the reasons I say that is because there's just... everything is very flashy. Not that there's a problem with that, I guess. But when you get to boss fights, I think sometimes it's a bit much. Because the boss fights can be just like special effects vomit all over the screen sometimes. Time Rift Sewers. Or Time Rift Subtitle Sewers. And then there's the overabundance of bloom and blur, depth of field blur. I feel like that could be toned down. Like, I've already toned it down, but I didn't want to turn it off completely because things look weird when it's completely turned off, because the game was designed to have it turned on. So, if it wasn't already clear enough that this game was based or inspired by Super Mario Sunshine, well, this is about as direct as it gets. You see that spinning thing in the background? Yeah, totally not directly Super Mario Sunshine. Like, everyone knows it. I'm not special for pointing it out. But it is a thing. I find it interesting that the particles in this area are bubbles. You can't see them very well from here. Yeah, up close you can. So I think the implication is that we're underwater or something. Except we're not. Even though there are some noises in the music, which is very pretty music, by the way, that sound kind of like whale calls. Yeah, right there. Totally whale calls. Let's not miss this jump now, horribly. I think I might have shown this in my Super Mario Sunshine Let's Play. This little section right here. Because this was available in the beta, and I went into the beta and recorded it just for that purpose. Just to show it in that episode. Oh, a slot machine. I forgot that these existed. Don't want that one. Not right now. Or, okay, I can just have it anyway. I pressed the wrong button. Okay, well, I have a ladybug band now. A ladybug headband, hairband. Not a ladybug band as in we're gonna go on a live concert tour. Okay, now I guess we will end the episode. More Time Rift stuff next time.